I approach single women in groups on a small university campus. Will I get a bad reputation? I think a lot of times when guys worry about their reputation, a lot of it comes from our own guilt or shame. You wouldn't generally think, if I'm a social guy, if I'm part of a lot of clubs, if I talk to guys and girls, I talk to people online, I'm going to get a reputation as that guy. You'll get a reputation as being a friendly, warm, social person. And that's the way I look at it with women. I think that most of the time, as long as you are just warm and social to a lot of people, and it happens to be some women, most people are going to just see you as a pretty talkative, open person. Of course, if you are only targeting women all the time and every single attractive woman and you're running down campus where everyone can see you constantly, it might eventually start to stand out. Well, I don't worry about it too much. That's what college is for. People are expected to mingle. They're expected to socialize. And I think as long as you can also be open to talking to other sorts of people, then you will be seen as a friendly person rather than some predator only going after women. But the end answer is, if you're not going to do it, then what? Clearly you want to do this because you want to meet women. So the answer is either I listen to my fears and I worry about what could happen, or I just talk to people and maximize my chances of finding romantic connections. And as long as you are not lewd, you're not catcalling women, you're not saying something very overtly vulgar right off the bat to them, you're not going to get in trouble. I've said this before. I've been coaching for 15 years. I still have yet to have a guy get any kind of restraining order or cops called on them or anything like that. But if you listen to the internet, it's oh my God, if I talk to any woman, I'm going to be labeled a predator. Everyone's going to swarm me. I'm going to go have my face plastered everywhere. I just haven't seen that to be the case. Again, if you're being lewd, maybe, but if you're just talking to people, no. And then in terms of approaching groups of 2 or more women, I think it's great. In fact, it often is easier in practicality. It might feel harder mentally, but in practical, it's easier because if you make a good impression on one of them, you address a group and one of those people like you, then usually the other people start to take those cues and give you a chance. And that's all you need is you need to hook one person. And that happens a lot where you'll talk to a group and one of the women will be oh my God, and start talking to you. And then all of a sudden, maybe your friends are a little bit cooler at the beginning, but they'll see her friend is open to this guy, giving him a shot. Let's change that dynamic, and you're going to have an easier opportunity to do so. The only thing I say there is that you got to make sure that you address the group as a whole, and you don't just only talk to the woman that you're interested in, because then the reverse happens, where women see a guy just come up to their friend, he's basically ignoring them and doesn't care about getting to know them. They get very defensive. They're in a bad mood, and I don't care what kind of game you have. If her friends don't like you or don't want you to be around, you're not succeeding. It's almost impossible to succeed. So I think groups of women are great. I even think mixed groups with men and women can be fine too, because not everyone's a couple and together. And as long as you talk to the group as a whole and you show them I'm respectful and appreciative, it's fine. Yeah, sometimes you get a jealous guy friend, but that's about them. They're not going to fight you in the middle of campus or anything like that. And women are their own people. So if they want to talk to you and they're not interested in their guy friend, then that's fine. So yeah, I would say don't worry about being some predator on campus, as long as you can be warm and social to everybody, or at least a decent amount of people. And as long as you aren't being vulgar or lewd off the bat, you're unlikely to get in any trouble. And then definitely take your chances with multiple women in groups, because sometimes that can actually make for a nice, easier conversation.